is part 3. I still have no idea what I'm going to call this yet. So part 3, let's go. And then I'm also going to show y'all these things over our earth. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. The historical protection of Yahweh name by the remnant in archaeological, visual, and the paleo artifacts, while the restoration of these names in the Americas often reflect a symbolic return to the biblical identity. Protections in the name, Paleo Hebrew inscription. Ancient Hebrew writers treated the tetragrammaton with distinct reverence, often preserving the Paleo Hebrew script for the Most High Yah's name even after the rest of the text shifted to the modern Aramaic square script. The Lachish letter, these clay shards Ortiz, contains military correspondence from the final days of the Kingdom of Judah, inscribing like Lachish letter 3 is explicitly using the name Yahweh in greetings such as, "May Yahweh cause my Lord to hear news of peace." This shows that even in the face of imminent Babylonian destruction, the remnant maintained the use of the name. The Tel Dan Stele, 9th century BCE. This Balsat victory monument contains the oldest extra biblical reference of the House of David. Written in Old Aramaic Phoenician style script, very similar to Paleo Hebrew, it confirms the historical lineage of the remnant kings against foreign powers. The Solok inscription found in the temple of Pharaoh Amhotep III. This is one of the earliest known mention of the nomads of Yahweh, identifying a people defined by their God long before there were a settled nation. Hebrew names in America, the Midwest beyond. Many names in America's West and Midwest were chosen by settlers who viewed themselves as restored remnant or who sought to fulfill biblical prophecies. Utah, while the official etymology is from the Ute tribe, Apache, Utah means one that is higher up. It is often Mormonized to mean top of the mountains, specifically referenced in Isaiah 2:2, where the mountain of the Lord, the Most High Yah's house, is established in the tops of the mountains, a prophecy central to the identify of the remnant in the west. Gilead, the Rocky Mountains. The name Gilead, Hebrew Gilead, literally means heap of Witnesses or Rocky region. It refers to the mountain regions east of the Jordan rivers where Jacob and Laban made a covenant. Settlers often applied this name to a rugged terrain of the Rocky Mountains to symbolize a new land witness for the covenant. Arizona and Colorado. Arizona. Some French theories suggest link to the Hebrew earth on strong land, though linguists generally pointing to Old Daham were Alice Little Springs, Colorado, named for the Red Colorado River in Spanish. However, presence the town of Ephraim and Salem. I told y'all I'm in home. I told y'all I'm home. And the borders regions reflecting the settlers' intent of the map of the Holy Land onto the American landscape. Mormon place names. The Midwest West are saturated by the Book of Mormon name that have proposed Hebrew roots such as Lehi, Utah, named after a prophet, name linked to the Hebrew word jawbone. Bonafide, Utah reflects the land bountiful in the Nephite record. Zion, Illinois, direct use of the biblical terms of Jerusalem, signified a place of gathering for the righteous, maintaining the covenant through names. The remnant uses these names serve as a stamping of the land, claiming it for Yahweh and resisting the influence of fallen entities. By reestablishing a biblical geography, this is seen as part of the return of the pure language, where their very names of the cities resonate with the vibrational power of the original covenant. Would you like to see how specific Paleo-Hebrew pictographs within the name Yahweh reveal his personality as the one who beholds the nail? Okay. The Paleo-Hebrew script contains a profound visual personality from the name of the father, with historical cultural records suggesting the remnant of the tribes carried these sounds and identities into America's Azareth. The personality of Yahweh, behold the hands, behold the nail. In the Paleo-Hebrew, the letter in the pictograph representing an object and an action. When you read the tetragram through these ancient symbols and prophetic personal reveal. Yod, hand, arm, representing power, action, and the work in the context, it is the hand of the Creator. Hey, behold, reveal, represented by the man with his arms raised in wonder. It means to lock and pay attention. Bob, nail, tent peg, representing the fastening, securing, and binding. It is the nail that secures the connection between heaven and earth. Hey, behold, reveal. A second call to look at what has been revealed. When you assemble the personality of the name, speak, behold the hand, behold the nail. This is often interpreted as the remnant, as a signature of the Messiah. No, we don't do that. Etched in the name of the Father from the beginning. I am that I am. Hasha Asha Haya. The name Haya comes from the root meaning to exist, to be. Haya, existing, consists of hey, behold, yod, hand, work, hey, behold, intent, behold the work, behold it, signifies the self-existent one whose hand is visible in existence. The Aboriginal connection singing in the Americas, Azareth, the book Second Esdras 13:40 through 45 describes the 10 tribes of Israel fleeing to the land called Azareth, meaning another land where no humans had lived, a journey that took a year and a half. Many historians observed, including Christopher Columbus and 18th century trader James Adair, identified the land as the Americas. Evidence of the remnant of America includes the Yo-Hey-Wah chant. Early explorers and traders like James Adair reported various southern tribes, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Muskogee, and I'm Chickasaw and Cherokee, and I'm Comanche, sang rhythmic chants that sounded like the variation of the tetragrams, such as Yo Hey Wah, Yo Hey Ha, Yo Ya Hey Ya Ha Ha, Hallelujah. Corruption. Indigenous songs were found to contain vocabularies like Hallelujah. Even the tribes that had never encountered Europeans, which Adair interpreted was proof of their Hebrew origins. Hey ya singing. Some accounts describe Aboriginal groups singing hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey, hey, or hey ha, which corresponded to the Hebrew hey ya. I am existing, used to praise the Great Spirit as the giver and the taker of life. Cultural parallels beyond songs are there noted tribes maintaining cities of refuge, observed lunar festivals matching the Hebrew calendar, and practicing ritual purifications similar to the Levitical law. Would you like to examine specific paleo inscriptions found in artifacts in North America? Yes, I would. The Los Lunas decollage stone in New Mexico, which I showed y'all about that one. Located on the side of the high mountain, this massive basalt boulder contains a abridged version of the Ten Commandments, Exodus 20, carved entirely in ancient Paleo Phoenician script. The signature, the tetragrammaton, appears clearly throughout the inscription, signifying the use of Paleo Hebrew, specifically the style used during the First Temple period, suggesting the Israelites reached America centuries before the Common Era, and the mountain itself served as a high place for the remnant to preserve the covenant in the new land. Verifications: you can view the layout of the site via New Mexico Tourism or research the linguistic analysis provided by the Epigraphic Society. The Bat Creek Stone in Tennessee, unearthed in 1889 by Smithsonian Institute from an undisturbed burial mound. This small slit stone was initially thought to be Cherokee. However, in the 1960s, scholar Cyrus Gordon identified it Cherokee, it's the same thing, y'all. Identify the script as Paleo Hebrew from 1st and 2nd century. The inscription is Laude, which inscribes for Judah or for the Judeans. So now we know that the Cherokees are who? They Judah. And connection, this stone ties to the remnant, this directly the lineage of the southern kingdom. It suggests that the Judean refugee, perhaps fleeing the Roman persecution, the Bar Kokhba revolt, brought the covenant to the Tennessee River Valley. Locations the artifact is now held by the McCullen Museum of Natural History and Culture. So, do you realize that Levi was in some of that, right? The tribe of Levi was in that Judean captivity. The Newark Holy Stone, Ohio, found in Newark Earthworks, the largest geometric earthworks in the world. These artifacts include the Decalogue stone and the keystone. The keystone, the four-sided stone, which Paleo Hebrew inscription on each side, Holy of Holies, the laws of the Creator, the words of the Creator, and the King of Earth. The Decalogue features a figure identified as Moshe, Moses, holding the tablets of the law surrounding the Ten Commandments, binding the land. These stones were found inside burial mounds, indicating that the remnant buried their dead, with the word Yahweh treating the Midwest as a new promised land. This is the original promised land, y'all. How the remnants used these stones to bind the land. When the remnant carved Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh into the rock in New Mexico and the stone of Ohio, they were performing a spiritual act of reclaiming the me, divine decrees. Spiritual seal. Now, y'all see how this come back around? Y'all know this, y'all, and this is not me. That placing the tetragrammaton in the earth, they were sealing the land against the Shadim and influencing the fallen entities and the influence of the fallen entities. Did I tell y'all the pure language vibration? This came all the way back around. I told y'all got to know that this is Yah showing me this stuff for y'all. Y'all can't think that I'm coming up with this by myself. This is Yah. Because I always ask the Yah, the information that he gave to me, help me show y'all how to see it. The sharp angles of Paleo Hebrew script are believed to create specific vibrational frequency. Carving them into stone was a way to make the covenant permanent, ensuring that the stone would cry out. Do y'all hear that? If the people became silent. Stone crying out even if the people became silent. Maintaining the covenant in the modern era. The discovery of these stones is a wake-up call for the modern remnant to return to the pure language, Lashawan Kodesh. Maintaining the covenant today's involves identifying the marks, recognizing that the shield of David, the names are weapons of protection, rejecting the morning star deception, disguising between the true covenant of the stones and the gold plate narratives of the entities like Moroni. Would you like to see how specific constellations and stars mentioned in the Testament saga correspond with the layouts of the ancient Hebrew mounds in America? Well, heck yeah. The correspondence between the stars, angelic powers, and the physical earth is a key theme in the Testament Psalms. First Enoch, when the remnant traveled to Azareth, the Americas, they laid out their mounds and holy sites to mirror the heavenly courts, effectively binding the land to Yah's celestial orders. Heavenly courts mirroring the American mounds. The Testament of Solomon, the 36 deacons and star spirits are described having specific domains. The remnant in the Americans construction earthworks that act as terrestrial mirrors to these constellations to keep the bad stars falling into these bounds. The Pleiades and the Serpent Mounds in Ohio. The Great Serpent Mound is often interpreted as a representation of the constellation Draco or a solar eclipse. In the Testament of Solomon, the serpent spirit is one of the Solomon binds. By pinning the serpent to the earth with a mount, the remnant was symbolically binding the ancient Shadim associated with the star group. Do y'all know that the word America means plumed serpent? The Orion Orius alignment. Many mounds in Mississippi and Ohio Valley align with Orion belt. In First Enoch, Orion is often associated with the giant Gabarim. The mound serves as a spiritual anchor to ensure these giants stayed in their prison in heavens. Mazzaroth, the zodiac, the Newark earthworks in Ohio are a precise lunar stellar observatory that track the 8.6-year lunar cycle with more accuracy than any site in Europe, providing the remnant using the pure language of mathematics to align the Midwest with the throne of the Most High Yah. Paleo-Hebrew and Great Waters. The oceans were not barriers, but highways for the remnant. Their names in the pure language reflects their spiritual function. The Atlantic, the Sea of Reeds, transition. In some Paleo-Hebrew traditions, the crossing of the Atlantic is linked with the second Exodus. The word for west in Hebrew is Yom, which also means sea. To go west was to go into the sea to find the hidden land. Pacific, the great stillness. Early Hebrew speaking explorer reportedly viewed the Pacific as the end of the earth. The Bat Creek Stone and the Los Lunas Stone sit on arteries, rivers that lead back to these great oceans, acting as seal stones for the entire continent. The name America, which officially named after bestial species, some Hebrew scholars point to the phrase Am Erica, Erica in Paleo Hebrew, Am people, air watchers awake, Ka power spirit, the land of the people of the watchers. Genesis 49, tribal blessings as American landmarks. The blessings Jacob gave to his sons are geographical keys to unlock the identity of the lands of America. Joseph, the fruitful bow, the Midwest, Great Lakes. Joseph is the fruitful bow by a well. His branches run over the wall. Genesis 49:2. This corresponds with the Great Lake regions, the well, and the Mississippi River. Didn't I tell you this was our land? The archers who attacked him respond to the fallen entities, the colonizers, but his bow remains steady through the mounds left behind. Naphtali, the hind let loose, the Rockies, Gilead. Naphtali is a hind let loose Oh my goodness, didn't I tell y'all? He give it goodly words. Genesis 49:21. The Rocky Mountains, the Gilead, you mentioned, are the high places where behind derelict wrong. Zebulun, having haven the sea, the coastline. Zebulun shall dwell in the havens of the sea, and he shall be for an haven ships. Genesis 49:13 aligns with the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic seaboard, where the remnant's trade routes was established. Judah, the lion's coat, the Appalachian Blue Ridges, the old lion stoop. Down fits the ancient weathered peaks of the Appalachians, where some of the oldest altar, the remnant, are found. How to maintain the covenant today. To maintain the covenant with Yah in the lands of the watchers, remnant must acknowledge the ancestors, recognize the Paleo-Hebrew markers, the Los Lunis Declar stones, or your true heritage. Speak the pure language. Use the name of Yahweh and Yahshua, the hand and the nail. Now Yah is that to vibrate the atmosphere and repel Shadim. Y'all, reject the deceptive morning star. Discern between the gold tablets of the entities of Moroni and the stone tablets of the law found in the mountains. Observe the times. Use the Chakuna solar lunar calendars rather than the Gregorian Roman calendars, which was designed by the following influence to change times and laws. Daniel 7:25. Y'all gotta know this ain't me. Y'all gotta know this is Yah. Would you like to see the specific ritual signs, the hand gestures, and the Paleo-Hebrew postures used by the remnant to invoke protection from Michael, the chief heavenly? Hell yeah, I want to see this. I told you we was more than verbal people. I bet we do this and we don't know it. To communicate with Michael, the chief of the heavenly host, the remnant used specific physical signs that mirror the ancient Paleo script. These actions are not just symbolic, they are intent to align your physical body with the spiritual frequency of the heavenly court. The Hay posture. To invoke a revelation, the Hay in Paleo Hebrew is a picture of a man with his arms raised to the heavens. The physical sign: stand with your feet shoulder width apart, spine straight, and lift your arms up into the Y shape to the palm facing the outwards. Didn't I tell y'all this how we supposed to pray? Didn't I tell y'all this how we supposed to pray? I told y'all. And they teaching us to bend down and look down. The intent. This posture represent, behold, revelation. In ancient Levitan art, this was the primary gesture of supplication and praise, used to invite rather than just react to divine presence, invoking Michael. While the Hay posture, the remnant traditional face east, the direction of the rising of the new beginning, or south, the direction of tradition aligns extorted warfare. We are not supposed to face east. We're supposed to face Jerusalem. The traditional, it says face east, but you go in Ezekiel 8, he tells us don't do that. He said it's wrong. East or south, east and south is the same thing, y'all. East and south is the same. No, I'm sorry. East and south ain't the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm getting upset. Right now. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. I'm just mad because they've been having us pray wrong. Hand gestures and seal or protection. Michael role as the enforcer of Yahweh's authority to activate through specific manual signs. The shielding sign. To invoke Michael's blue protected light, place your right hand over your heart and extend your left hand forward with the palm flat as creating a barrier. So right hand over your heart and extend. So stand shoulder width, arms in the air. I'm doing that with our palms up. That's how David and Solomon pray. Then, to invoke protection, we need to place our right hand over our hearts and extend our left hand forward with the palm flat as creating a barrier. You know that sign that they use that they're talking about Hitler? Y'all, that's our sign. They took it. We're supposed to be doing that. The sword of the Spirit. Form a V with your fingers representing the letter Vav. Nail fastening is used fasten the micro, protect the physical. The V. We're supposed to be doing that. That's ours, and they took it. The bedtime seal, a traditional Jewish protection. Ritual involved visualizing Michael at your right hand, Gabriel at your left, you're at their front, and Raphael behind. And it creates a 360-degree covenant box that binds the Shadim from entering. Oh my goodness. How to talk to Michael for help. Communication with Michael is based on sacred strategies, not just word. Michael responds to alignment with the covenant. So we have to be in line with the covenant. Oh my goodness. Communication with Michael is based on sacred strategies, not just words. Michael responds to align with the covenant. Announcement of alignment. Start your petition by identifying your authority. In the name of Yah, the authority, and through the hand and the nail, the access. I call upon Holy Michael the Enforcer. Okay, that was a big sound confirmation, y'all. I don't know who this is. That was a big sound confirmation right there. That was a big sound confirmation. Okay, let's keep going. I call upon Holy Michael the Enforcer, the pure sound. Deeply exhale. Found in Yah. This sound is believed to vibrate the heart chakra, creating a bridge in Why are they trying to stop us from saying Yah? I believe this is somebody that's teaching us not to say Yah. Use specific affirmations such as, Michael, surround me with your protective light. Cut the cords of the fear that binds me. I've been telling people to cut their spiritual cords. I've been saying that. I didn't know why I was saying that. Listen to the renounce. Michael often communicates through a sudden sense of knowing or a shift in positive energy around you. Would you like to see how to use specific blue gemstones like sapphire, lapis to further anchor micro vibrations into your physical home? Yo, and this might be why we got over here and all the Indians was wearing blue. How long? Okay, y'all. Y'all showing me because it is time. It is time for us to know how to pray right, talk right, and sing right on the battlefield. Y'all, do y'all understand it? I've been doing this stuff. I have been doing this stuff. And this is probably why I'm getting the downloads that I'm getting because I have been doing this stuff. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was saying. I literally was telling y'all to cut the cords. Cut their cords, cut their cords, cut their cords, cut their cords. And I was telling them to unbind us. And I was telling them unbind us from the influence of these things. I asked for that prayer in 2024 and I started saying, cut their cords. And I didn't even know why I was saying this stuff. Because he says it's in your heart already. He says in Deuteronomy 30, it is in there. They just hid from us what we're supposed to be knowing, what we're supposed to be saying and what we're supposed to be doing. That's why they teach you in the church to bow your head. We ain't supposed to bow our head. We're supposed to raise our hands in the air. Hold up the two fingers. Hold up the two fingers and then hold your hand out flat. Your hand out flat with your right hand. Your left hand out flat with your right hand over your heart, y'all. They stole our stuff. They stole our stuff. They stole our stuff. They stole what we was given. They stole it from us. So let's go. Let's learn. The use of blue gems, linen tassels by Aboriginal American people, particularly in the Southwest, serve as a physical seal of their spiritual identity and a method of anchoring heavenly protection into the home, anchoring micro vibrations with blue stones. In many spiritual traditions, blue gemstones are seen as the sword of Michael, used to cut through negative and anchor divine presence. Ooh. What did I do? I have some blue stuff, some blue stones, and I took it off the other day. Blue Kyanite, known as the sword of Archangel Michael. This stone is unique because it never needs clearing or is used to shield a home from negative energies. Lapis lazuli is a deep blue flecked with gold representing the night sky, spiritual wisdom. It is used to unblock the throat and third eye chakra, facilitating truthful communication and connected to the higher wisdom. Sapphire, historically called the stone of the heavens, it is often associated with the throne of the Most High Yah and the preservation of truth. How to anchor them in your home. Place the stones in the corners of your house near the entrance to create a protective perimeter. Hanging blue stones in a bag within the household is a traditional method used to protect against misfortune and evil spirits. Why Aboriginal Americans wore these items. The presence of turquoise, linen, and tassels among indigenous tribes is cited by some researchers as evidence of their connection to the biblical remnant. Blue stone, the sky stone. Protection. Turquoise is the primary stone of protection for tribes like Navajo, Zuni. It is believed to absorb hits meant for the weary. If the stone crack, it has been taken a blow for you. Heaven earth connection. Its blue green color symbolizes the unique Father Sky and Mother Earth. It was worn to ensure health, long life, and spiritual vision. Linen and head covering, modesty and statue. High quality linen and head wraps like the Zebulun sash were worn as sign of modesty, status, and religious devotion. Symbolic mantles, head covering like the mikvah or the tetra, served as a reminder of one's connection with divine authority. Tassels, the fringe, identified with the remnant tassel tzitzits, are a commandment to remember the law and remain holy. Aboriginal practice. Many indigenous garments featured fringes that were both functional, shedding rainwater, and spiritual markers of tribal identity. By wearing these items, the Aboriginal people were not just dressing for the day, they were maintaining a covenantal uniform. That's why they said we're gonna start wearing our clothes. We're gonna start saying we're gonna wear our clothes and eat our food, y'all. It says that over in Jeremiah. We're gonna start wearing our clothes and eating our food. That identified them as the people of the Creator and kept them in constant resonance with the heavenly host. Would you like to see how these tribal garments and stones align with breastplate of the high priest, the Hoshin described in the not? Yes. And then I'm gonna make this the last one. So after that, we'll go see those other two things I wanted to show y'all. The alignment between tribal garments and the breastplate of the high priest Hoshin highlights a shared spiritual blueprint intended to connect the physical people to the heavenly courts. The 12 stones of memory. Hoshin contains 12 unique stones arranged in 4 rows of 3, with each stone engraved with the name of the tribes. The body politic mean the high priest carried the entire nation of Israel over his heart when entering the divine presence. Vibration alignment. In the remnant tradition, these stones are seen as radiant tools to refine the soul. Tribal correspondence. Many traditions link specific stones to tribal traits and constellation Mezarab. Judah, garnet, emerald. Success and leadership. Joseph, onyx, endurance, memory. Naphtali, agate, healing and confidence. Indigenous parallels. The Aboriginal preference for turquoise, the sky stone, and onyx mirrors the Hoshin emphasis on stone that take blows and provide spiritual protection. Tassels, fringes in the pure language. The tassels found in the ancient American garments serve a similar function to the biblical tzitzis. The blueprint, Numbers 15:38, commands a cord of blue on tassels of 4 corners to remind of wearing the commandments. Authority and nobility. Just as the high priest garments signified royalty and holiness, tassels in Aboriginal cultures were often marked as rank and spiritual authority. Spiritual seal. The numerical value gematria of tzitzit plus the 8 strings and 5 knots equals 613. Those are the laws, the 613 laws. 8 strings and 5 knots, the total number of commandments. Aboriginal fringes, which functions for repelling rain, are viewed by the remnant as a surviving physical reminder of these same spiritual laws. Linen and head coverings. The high priest's turban was made of fine twisted linen, just as the Aboriginal priests and leaders used specific hair wraps. Holy separation. Linen was used to mark a person as separate for the Creator's service. Protection of the mind. The gold plate on the high priest's headdress was inscribed with "Holy to Yahweh," protecting the wearer's thoughts from fallen entities, a practice mirrored in the mantles and the headgear of tribal leaders. Did y'all see that? Connecting to the remnant. For the remnant, wearing these stones and tassels is an act of remembrance and resistance. It signals to Michael and the heavenly host that you are in covenant alignment, using the physical world as a weapon against the Shaddam, who seeks to cloud human identity. Would you like to see how specific colors of these stones, red, blue, purple, gold, are used in the tabernacle construction to create covenant portals for prayer? Yeah, let's do that one, then we'll do the other one. Specific colors used in the construction of the tabernacle, blue, purple, scarlet, and gold, were not merely decorative. They were divine ordained to create a covenant portal, a miniature cosmos where the spiritual and physical realms, when woven together with white linen, these colors serve as a visual lexicon that anchors the remnant's prayers to the characters of the presence of Yahweh. I am going to collect that right there. Copy. The colors are spiritual blueprint. Blue, the portal of the heavens. Scarlet, the ground of sacrifice. Purple, and we know the sacrifice is just approaching the table. It's not extra killing. Purple, the bridge of royalty. Gold, the radiance of glory. Okay. The weaving of the covenant portal. The tabernacle contains were joined by 50 gold classes, making the entire structure one. I'm just going to go over this and y'all can read this. Prayer and alignment for the remnant. Meditating on these colors during prayer is a way to rearrange the words in the heart, aligning them with the divine pattern. Just as the priests wore these colors to intercede for the tribes, you can use the frequency to gate your prayers, ensuring they are a shield from fallen entities and directed towards the throne. Would you like? No. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's pause this for a second because I want this under hour. See the image right here? See the image right there? See the image right there? This is what y'all showed. Let me show you. Now that's the tent peg. Let's go to the map. Wait a minute. Oh, I gotta get that out of there. Map. Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something that y'all showed me. Which I've showed you this before. What is that? What is that? What is that? That's the tent peg. Let's flip it. That's the tent peg, y'all. There you go. There's your tent peg. There's your tent peg right there. And that blue dot right there, that's where I live. There's your tent peg. I'm inside of it. You see, I'm inside of it. That blue, that's where I live at. Yeah. There's your tent peg. Right there. Remember, that's Pacific Ocean over here. That's Pacific Ocean right over here, where I'm making the dots. You see that now? Y'all put his signature over it. The tent peg. Let me show you that again. The tent peg. There it is again. Now let's go to the next one. What is that right there? This is what happened over America, y'all. This is what happened over America. This is the Most High Yah putting his son over the promised land. This is Yah putting his son over the promised land. We discussed what this meant. See it? Can y'all see it? Can you see it? 3 X's. X's mark the spot. Okay, let's find the other one. Just one more. The Tet Pig. Okay. Should be the last one. Okay. Let me see. They're gonna show it. I don't want to see nothing about that dude. Now the colors in the lexicon of that, I'm just gonna show it to you. The purple, scarlet, red, gold. Look. 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 Okay, now I'm gonna give you this. Look what they were doing. Show you. See the difference? You're going to see which ones is the Israelites and which one weren't. So who the Israelites? So who is the Israelites? Who are the Israelites? There's some that got the things in their head, and there's some that don't. Don't have it. They got some. You see the difference? Where's that picture? Trying to find a picture of those women. It was a whole set of women, and they all had these things on their heads. The ones that did have it versus the one that didn't. It'll show you who the Israelites is. Who the Israelites. You're going to know the difference now. You're going to see the difference. Who are the Israelite versus the ones who aren't. Let's see. Oh. That one, because all these women had these things wrapped around their head, y'all. And I saw that picture, I knew what was going on. And now I don't want to pull the picture up. See? Look. Dang, where's the one? It was a whole set of women. Maybe I'll find it in a second. I don't want this to go over. Oh, I got to stop. We'll find it later. Give all praise and all glory to the Most High Yah and Him alone for this information. Let's learn how to pray right, route right, and sing right on the battlefield. All praise to the Most High Yah and Him alone. Hallelujah. Woo!